There are so many bolt-action rifles, it's actually hard to keep track of them all, as most of you know. I definitely like the Mauser 66. I think we looked at this before in studio, but I'm not sure. This is made in the 60s. Maybe they stopped making them in the 70s. I lost track. I was trying to think of how to describe it to you, and it's probably, I would say, the most charismatic of the bolt-action rifles. It's unique. I don't know if you've seen this action. You've probably seen my other videos, but it's a telescopic action. I know that I've shown it on film before. So unique, very compact. Some people don't like it that there's no floor plate and there's no removable magazine. So everything has to happen through the top. But, primarily I'm a hunter and just a shooter and a collector, so that doesn't bother me. And everything is so well made. I think I already said this is in 30-06. Just a beautifully designed and executed rifle. I got a very good buy on this particular one because the claw-mounted scope is missing. And for most people, that means a big problem. Not so much for me. I can fit another claw-mounted scope, one of those orphan scopes. You often see the claw-mounted scopes at gun shows. People don't ask much money for them because they don't know what they'll fit. It does take a lot of work and know-how, but I get it. Also, people ask me what I'm shooting. So today, I really don't have a preference. I just use whatever is on sale. What is this? Winchester 150 grain. Anyway, rather than talking, we'll take 3 shots and you'll just see it working. It just has the metallic sights, obviously. Very easy to operate and close. Crossbolt safety at the back of the bolt that locks the firing pin. It's a fantastic rifle, actually in every way. Too bad they stopped making them. Quite unique. Anyhow, we'll take a couple of shots. Just so slick. Yeah, I mean, effortless rifle to shoot. I'll flip it around this way so you get another look at it. I know there are people that collect these. You'll take note of the front sight, which is sort of a Luger style barrel band. And this rail here has to be so because it's a switch barrel, if you can find barrels. There's a gunsmith, by the way, in Germany that makes these barrels again. And I contacted him and we're just figuring out, the shipping details. And the rear sight sits on the dovetail. Beautifully executed, fantastically well-made rifle. Mauser 66, and next time we'll look at the one I have in 458 Win Mag, which is again a different beast. And you've noticed the double set triggers, I'm sure that you can see. All right, we'll set that one aside and go on to the next rifle. Can you remember when Remington had the Model 700 line? And I think their budget rifle was the Remington 788. The manufacturers often try to have a upscale rifle and then a more budget model. Anyway, somewhere around that time, I'm assuming in the late 70s, I should have looked up the manufacturer date. They came out with this cool version of the Remington 700, and some of you might think it's a 700 ADL, but it's even plainer than that. It has kind of a beach stock. This one I've owned like a couple of weeks. It's just flat new. The bolt face had no brass on it, just in perfect shape. You can't resist owning something like this. And I'm going to flip it around so you can see Sportsman 78 on the receiver. So I was showing this actually to the director of photography, and he said, this is like a last-ditch Remington. That refers to wartime rifles. You know, usually at the end, for whoever's losing, there's a rifle that comes out for the troops that's got nothing special about it, but still works. Anyway, I found it very funny, but it's actually not a last-ditch Remington. Arguably, it's as good or better than a lot of the models they make now. There's no knurling on the bolt handle. Anyway, that's a lot of talking about nothing. So without the floor plate, you have to load and unload through the top, which is no big deal. And this one's in the always excellent 30-06, and we'll just take 3 shots so you can see the rifle working. There's not much more to show you. Typical hard rubber butt plate. All right, we'll take a couple shots, see how it works. Yeah, what a truly excellent rifle. By the way, I should say that you always should have shooting glasses on. I noticed some people write me about that. And I always have shooting glasses on. Sometimes they don't show up on film though. Just that happens, but I've got them on now. Anyhow, that's a very short little expose on the Remington Sportsman 78. If you see it in a used gun store or something, now you know. It's really just a Remington 700 action in a plainer stock without the floor plate or a removable magazine. Completely serviceable, excellent, accurate rifle, and very well priced. All right, that's it on this one. Ruger has actually always made really fine bolt action rifles. They started with the Model 77. That was Bill Ruger's imagination and initiative. Wonderfully executed rifle, and it came around at a perfect time because the pre-64 Model 70 had been discontinued. And naturally, any rifle evolves. So this is Model 77 Mark II. And it's the RSI model, which in this case distinguishes it because it has a full-length stock. And these are quite popular, well, all over the place, but in particular, I've noticed a few in Europe that people like. They like the looks of the full-length stock, and so do I. And I think I read more than once, Bill Ruger wanted to offer a rifle that was similar to the Mannlicher Schönauer, I think the 1904. That rifle was in 6.5 by 54. I don't think we've made a video on that Mannlicher just because I don't have one. Anyhow, the Ruger RSI kind of tries to mimic that. I'm not sure if the Hawkeye, which is the current model, is available in the full stock model, but there's just something elegant about the full stock model. Other than that, it's I mean, it's a typical Model 77. This, as you know, I like the iron sights, so this one has a decent adjustable rear sight and a typical Ruger front sight. Steel nose cap, quite a European looking sling swivel, floor plate. I guess this is aluminum, anodized, trigger guard steel though. Kind of has everything that you would be looking for in a rifle, and I thought a lot of times you ask me to take a few shots. I'm not set up for showing the targets, not yet anyway, so it's just useful to see how the rifle operates. Oh, and this model, unlike the first Ruger, has a superb safety. The first safety was fine, it was a tang safety, but this one actually locks right into the back of the firing pin. So it's not that it's blocking the trigger or some such thing. It's actually physically preventing the firing pin from moving forward. This is the back of the firing pin. Anyhow, to remove it, very, very simple. And of course, if you're interested in one of these, it makes sense to study the rifle a little bit. But beautiful handling. It's in 30-06, effortless to own. They tend to always increase in value. I guess there are not that many of this full stock model made. And Ruger offers the #1 in this sometimes with a full stock as well, which is another one to look out for. Anyhow, we'll take a couple or 3 shots, and too bad I can't show you what I'm shooting at, but maybe next time. Yeah, I mean, it's a short rifle, or carbine, but recoil's not altogether that bad. You probably can see some muzzle flash. And flawless operation, which is what you would expect from any Ruger. Just an ideal carbine if you don't want to carry around something really heavy and long, and yet you want something really elegant. This is definitely something to consider. Ruger M77 Mark II Rsi. I think the RSI is there. I don't see it on the action, but that's how this was sold to me. Anyhow, kind of an interesting piece. We'll see you on the next video.